All right, welcome back. Hopefully, if you're actually watching this, that means you are interested in doing this. So, yay, wonderful. All right, so what we're going to do today is we're going to turn our drop-down box into where it actually stores references to objects and returns those references. So one thing is that whenever we went into properties before, remember whenever I told you over here in code to pay attention to where it said type parameters. This is actually where it's saying, hey, it's of type string. So the thing is I want this to be about my cats. So I created this cat class right here where they have a name and a breed, and they have just a constructor that does that, and then they have the return types. And I blocked out the toString method for right now because I want to show you what that does and why it's necessary if you're going to do it like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in here, and instead of being string, I'm going to change this to where it says cat instead. So now, instead of being a string parameter type, it's going to be this cat class right here. And so we're going to close that down. Well, actually, one of the other things that we're going to need to do at this point is you're going to need to get rid of any of the predefined terms that you have in there. Because honestly, we're not creating new objects in this. We're going to create them in our code. So this way it doesn't have any pre-decided items that we don't want. I'm just going to leave the size at 8. It's fine. All right. So then we're going to go into our source. And I'm going to go ahead and whenever I add the items, remember how I showed you before you can add a string? Well, basically, now I'm going to add these new cat items to it instead. So this way it'll populate it with these cat boxes, with these different cats in our cats list. So I'm going to go and run this just to show you what it does first, even though it's not going to really work right now. And one of the things to notice is, you notice how it says that cat at, and then it has the garbly-gook after it, and every single one of them are. So one of the things to remember is that whenever it goes and it fills in these values for the drop-down box, it calls up the toString method to report this. So the problem with that is that if you don't define one yourself, it's going to use the hash value that's decided by the object class. Because remember, everything inherits from that. So what we're going to do to fix this is I'm going to go and uncomment this, and I'm just going to have it to where it displays its name. And now my toString of this cat class displays the name and returns it. And now whenever I run this, you notice that now it displays the names of all my different cats. So that is, yay, wonderful. That's working the way we want it to now. So just make sure you realize that if you're going to do this, if you get that garbly-gook, that you need to make sure you go back and define a toString and only have it return the values that you want displayed in the drop-down box. So now what I want it to do is whenever, and just so we're clear, is that whatever cat I select here, it displays its breed down here, which shouldn't be too hard. The one thing to remember about this, though, is that remember, whenever we got the get selected item, it returns an object. So because of that, one of the things that we need to do is we need to typecast it to a cat. And then, right now it's yelling at me because, and then we're going to get the breed because that returns a string. And we're going to have it display that. And now I'm going to take the same line and I'm going to move it back down here to my action bar right here. So this way, every time I select a different cat, it'll get the different breed. And so now whenever we hit this, and notice how now it says that Rasputin is a Tonkinese, Tiger is a red tabby, Rainbow's a calico, Stormy's an American short hair. So these are just kind of some different ways to get your objects out of there. And so this way, each one of these is a reference to an object that gets returned. The only big thing you got to remember about that is if you're returning it and you need to do something with it, make sure you typecast it to its proper one. This kind of eliminates the need. Like, let's say, I don't know, you were working on a power grid or something and want to select a building, in case that's part of a project or something, and you didn't want to have to go and search for the building, you just wanted to return a reference to it. This would be a wonderful way to kind of do that. So that's kind of how that works. Again, I hope this was informative and you're able to use this. Have fun with it and enjoy. Talk to you later.